Hollywood hates criticism, and they hate it when we speak out against their narrative and when we speak out against the crap content that they continue to give us. And we just had an actress from Game of Thrones Season 8, a season that most of us by now have tried to forget as much as possible, basically go out to say that anyone who criticized Season 8 is ungrateful. So this ought to be a great article to get through. So this is coming from GameSpot. Game of Thrones actress weighs in on Season 8, deems haters ungrateful. So this is the article here. It's been a year since the divisive finale of HBO's Game of Thrones. A very, very painful finale. It was honestly literal torture. It really was. Not only to me mentally, but also me physically as well. Like I literally felt pain watching this last season. It was horrible. It was a horrible time. It was torturous, and I think that most of us can agree on that. So, and while time may heal all wounds, these are pretty deep wounds. I don't know if time is going to fully be able to heal these ones, to be honest. It's a slower process for some than it is for others. Actors involved in the blockbuster show are still weighing in on the show's last episodes. Earlier this year, Daenerys Targaryen herself, Emilia Clarke, explained that she tried not to consider what fans might think of her character's tragic and abrupt turn to madness. Now, Karis Van Houten, who played Melisandre, the Red Woman, has some thoughts of her own. Speaking with Insider, Van Houten probably, plainly states that she loved the ending. I loved the ending, she says. Even right there, I'm just like, really? Really? You loved this ending. Okay, let's go ahead and see why she would love such a terrible ending. I loved the randomness of just picking a king. Oh, so the thing that literally pissed off everyone is the one thing that you loved. Great. That's why I loved the first season. The guy who actually was king, Robert Baratheon, didn't want to be king, so we already got a lesson in the beginning. Why are you striving for that sort of power when obviously it doesn't make you happy? While Van Houten isn't technically incorrect in her idea of Robert Baratheon's ascent to the throne, this does seem like an oversimplification of the events that took place in the story. Baratheon was part of a major rebellion against the corrupt Targaryen regime, who wound up placed on the throne after the successful coup d'etat. It's less than he was striving for the power that he was given, and more that he himself became a political cog in the machine after the fighting finally died down. Regardless, Van Houten is certainly a fan of Bran's ultimate ascension to king, if only because it felt entirely timely. I loved the randomness and clumsiness of picking some guy, which is very representative of the world right now. Oh boy! So here we go. We're getting some Orange Man bad in here. Great. Great. Love to see it. As crazy people are ruling the world, I thought it was a great comparison. So basically she is just going full TDS right here. We all know that the crazy people of the ruling the world that she's talking about is Orange Man bad, because of course this is the mentality that pretty much everyone in Hollywood has about the current president that we have. So basically the reason that she loved the ending of Game of Thrones is because Orange Man bad. Got it. Right. Okay. Now suddenly it makes a lot more sense, if you are already dealing with those sort of mental issues, why you would love the finale so much. As for the backlash, Van Houten believes it was partly to be expected. The fact that some people were so disappointed is because everything before that was so good, but sums up the fan response as ungrateful. So it feels a bit ungrateful. You've had such great times, and then yeah, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to go exactly how you anticipated. Of course you're going to have all sorts of criticisms, and I just thought it was a sign of how good the show was. We're talking about Game of Thrones here. This is one of those shows where almost everything in the show that happened wasn't how we anticipated. But people didn't really ever have the same level of criticism about that as they did with the ending of Season 8. And that is because Season 8 it not only did it not go how we anticipated, but it did it in a crappy way. It did it in a way that hurt the storytelling, that weakened the storytelling and the characters. And that is why people don't like season 8, because of the way that it handled the story, because it pretty much just took a complete dump on the story. That is why people don't like it. It's not because it didn't go how we anticipated. Okay? People would have been totally fine if it didn't go how they anticipated, as long as it was still strong into storytelling, as long as it was an epic finale that everyone could take something away from, and that at least gave us some sort of fulfillment as far as the story goes. People are totally fine with things not going how they expect in storytelling. That is not an issue that most people have. It's all about how it's executed, how it's handled. Now, obviously, I don't really need to go into too much preachiness on all of this, because we've talked about this so much when it comes to Game of Thrones Season 8. But the fact that these people just simply don't get it. They just simply don't get it. It has nothing to do with the expectations. It has everything to do with the execution. The execution was trash. The execution was terrible for Season 8. And that is why people didn't like it. So basically you're saying that you love the ending because of Orange Man Bad, which is just quite a take. And the fans are ungrateful, bigot idiots, because they didn't just let you force feed crap down our throats. Okay, cool. This is peak Hollywood right here. This is what Hollywood thinks of us as fans. Like I said in the beginning, if you have any sort of criticisms about any sort of product that Hollywood is putting out there, then they don't like that. They don't like that. And that is why Hollywood, working with people like the mainstream media, people like Rotten Tomatoes, and all these other people, why they want to just continue to try to get to a point where people just brainlessly consume their entertainment without any sort of criticism, without any sort of desire to actually see good storytelling. They just want to continue to churn out crap content, because that makes their job a lot easier, because then they can just be lazy in what they do. They don't actually have to try to work to make great content. And we would just mindlessly gobble it up without, complaining, without, basically trying to, tell them that what they're giving us is garbage. They don't want us to do that, which is why we need to continue to do it, because I don't want crap storytelling, which is why I'm very vocal about things like Season 8 of Game of Thrones, why a lot of us are very vocal about things like Rise of Skywalker, and I guess Disney, Star Wars in general, is because we don't like crappy storytelling. It's not a normal human reaction to love terrible storytelling. That is not how humans are designed. We are designed to appreciate good art and appreciate good storytelling, and that is what we want. So, anyway, with that being said, Orange Man Bad, remember that. That is why we should love Season 8, because, Orange Man Bad, great, another hot take from Hollywood, I see. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about her responses to the fans' reaction here in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to Geeks and Gamers if you're new around here. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, go check out my personal channel, Josiah Rises, and subscribe over there as well. I would appreciate that as well. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.